built a new 5th, 6th grade school in town, and they put a special education door for all the special ed kids to go into, and we're talking, well, it was in the 2000s because my daughter was born in 2002. And I was like, so I had to argue with the principal to get her to go in the regular door, and I was like, if we go to Walmart, there's not a separate door. Like, I need to teach her how to use her power chair going through people in a regular setting. Why would I have her go through a different door?
Right.
PEP Radio is a part of the Pennsylvania Equality Project that plays music, news, and weather, actively advocating for the LGBTQ+ and disabled since 2024.
PEP Radio, available on Live 365, Roku, Alexa, and at paequality.com.
Here at Gay SA Radio, we're very happy to welcome the Othering podcast to our airwaves. Catch the show every Thursday at noon CAT, bringing fresh voices and compelling conversations straight to you.
Head over to gsaradio.stream to find out how you can tune in and become part of our family. Don't miss it, only on Gay SA Radio, where you are family.
Gay Hive Magazine, all about the buzz of content for our community. Our content is like no other. It's all about being real, honest, and raw.
We're always looking for new reoccurring content for the magazine and regular content writers for our website. Gay Hive is currently seeking sponsors. Email hushmagazine001@gmail.com for details.
Gay Hive Magazine, all the buzz.
One man and one woman join forces to rid the world
What are you doing?
of inequality and fascism.
Seriously?
I'm trying to do a promo here.
For whom? What are you doing?
Welcome to the Othering Podcast with Mike and Dory. So how have you been?
Good.
Everything's going well?
It's been going pretty good, actually.
Good.
It's like 60-something out today, so that's positive.
Not bad.
I think, we're low 50s here.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a little chilly.
Like a week ago, we were in the 60s or 70s, then we got like 12 inches of snow and a blizzard, and then by the next 3 days later, it was gone. We went from like negative 20 to like 80 in 4 days or something.
Jeez.
All right, today we are talking to Aaron Devries. Aaron is a dad, 2-time TEDx speaker, host of the Inclusive Dad podcast, and passionate advocate for inclusion. His biggest motivation comes from life at home, raising his daughter, who uses a wheelchair, which has shaped how he sees inclusion in everyday moments. He keeps things real and practical, helping people find simple ways to make the spaces that they are already in more inclusive. I couldn't get that one out. When he's not doing that, he's probably fishing or at a concert. And at the end of the day, he just wants to help people move from talking about inclusion to actually living it out. Welcome, Aaron. It's great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Great to talk to you again.
Yes.
For the listener, we were on his podcast, a month or two ago. I don't remember when it was. It wasn't long ago.
Yeah. This year's going fast. I can
It is. Seems like yesterday it was January, and now we're like in December. It seems like.
So when we were on your podcast, you talked a lot about your daughter and her being a wheelchair user and your experience, I guess you could say, kind of changing from when you were growing up to having to think about the inclusion and what she has to go through. Can you kind of talk about that change that you went through?
Yeah, sure. My name's Aaron. I grew up southern Minnesota, cornfields, bean fields around. Not too exciting for the landscape, but I grew up in a small, there's not even a town. There's a name to it, but it was maybe like a group of 30 or 40 houses. Small, grew up, went to a Baptist church growing up, was there every time the door was open. So that's basically who I was around was, church people. Went to a Christian school through 8th grade, and just growing up, then I went to a public high school, and I don't remember, hearing the word disability, seeing people in wheelchairs,
Yep.
anything like that growing up. Now, maybe I did. I just wasn't in my world at that time, so I just don't remember it. But I just don't, looking back, don't recall that. And then went to college. My daughter Cecilia was born, let's see, 2002, so she's going to be 24 this year. A couple of months after she was born, she was diagnosed with epilepsy and then cerebral palsy, and has used a wheelchair. First manual, and then now she's in a power one. I mean, probably almost 20 years at this point, probably 18 to 20 years at this point. So just her being born and being introduced to that world, I just kind of, liken it to this parallel universe that's out there that I didn't know existed, like all the services that you need as, a family with a person with a disability that I didn't know were there. I mean, I'm glad they are there. It's just stuff if you don't have to access those services, you don't know what that entails. You don't know the hoops you have to jump through and all those things. Or, I had been to the doctor, for checkups growing up, nothing crazy. And then going to all her appointments and all that stuff and telling the same story 6,000 times over again. It's like, I just told you guys like this last week. Like, why are we saying it again? So just all these different school things that, everything's all the stuff you don't have to if you're if you're healthy and not in those worlds. So yeah, it's been quite eye-opening, and still finding out new stuff now and different things. Yeah.
From a different perspective, that coming into the relationship with Dory as a disabled person, I kind of understand to an extent the change of thought process.
Yeah.
Because when you're not around anyone with a disability, you don't think anything of it. You don't think about accessibility anywhere or inclusion anywhere. It's just, you take it for granted, I guess, when you're not disabled or around someone. And then when you get around someone, it changes everything. Changes how you live and changes how you see things in life.
Yeah, for sure. And I've been with my girlfriend for I better get this right, like 4 years I think now. But she kind of tells the story like she was never around anybody in a wheelchair to the extent she is around my daughter now, and she just, she knew ADA was there and the law was passed, so kind of thought everything was accessible until we've gone out to try to go to concerts or different places, and it's just nope, they're still not all accessible. And I mean, just because the law is passed doesn't mean everything is easy for a wheelchair to get in and out of, for sure.
Definitely, and they tried their damnedest to do the bare minimum, if they even bother to do it, and which doesn't shock me, but at the same time it does, because as I've said before, that's trillions of dollars that they're just throwing away by not, finding ways so that people can get in, whether or not they're in a wheelchair or not.
Yeah, and I mean, for sure, and my daughter, we went to listen to some live music recently at a hotel, and if you aren't around somebody like my daughter, if I'm out with her by myself and I need to use the restroom, well, then she has to go with me. So that means we're getting in the large accessible stall. She's turned around so she's not facing what I'm doing, obviously, but even like what's the handicap stall, they're not really roomy, or trying to like get a chair in there and shut the door correctly and all that stuff is just is not the best. Or she doesn't like the automatic flushers, because like if you move forward then they flush and it kind of scares her. So then trying to like throw something over that and just all this extra
and it splashes you.
Have to do.
Yeah, it splashes you. I mean, what the hell is that?
It's awful. If that happens to me, I stand up. So yeah, that's got to be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted a bidet, I would go for a bidet. But
clean water.
Yeah, but going to the bathroom with those automatic flushers, they're awful. I'm telling you, people, stop using automatic flushers.
Right.
They're not really all that beneficial. And because they either flush too soon or they don't flush at all.
Right.
And so you're like looking like a moron trying to do semaphore or something to get it to flush. And
just give us the little button.
Yeah.
Let us push the little button.
And as somebody who is also disabled and, uses crutches and canes and wheelchairs, it's disheartening when you have to go to the bathroom in the first place, and then you have all of this equipment with you and you just don't have the room to really move around. You can't comfortably use the bathroom, and it's embarrassing, at least for me. And I would assume that a lot of other people probably feel that way too, because you want to be able to enjoy going out and not always feel like, ugh, where's the nearest bathroom? Is it even going to be accessible? Am I going to be able to change things if I need to? And it's a horrific experience when you do have to change something and there's nothing there to help you. And, we shouldn't have to carry our own diaper bags or things like that for us as adults. I mean, it's one thing if you're got babies, but but it's not like, for instance, people that have stomas, they have to have a certain amount of equipment and they need sterilization too. People in wheelchairs need the ability to turn around so that they can go to the bathroom. And we need all of those things on top of, whether or not a parent is in there or not. We need to be mindful of the fact that parents are going to sometimes be there, or spouses, or, just significant others. And the fact that we completely ignore everything like that, it is maddening.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I recall sometimes with my daughter where, like, it's not big enough for you get the chair in there, shut the door, so you're having to have the chair like in the doorway, get around the toilet, and then either backing it out and trying to shut the door, or the doors are wide open because you can't shut it. So I mean, it's just yeah.
And
But I've also had times where you go into a restroom and it's like so big and spacious. Like, wow, I should take a picture of this and like
Yes.
measure it, because this is like amazing. Like there's room in here.
And I've also noticed a lot of able-bodied people use those stalls because they're big and they're quote unquote better than the other ones. And I admit I was guilty of that for a long time too. But if I saw someone in a wheelchair, I probably wouldn't have done it. But still, a lot of able-bodied people that shouldn't be using those use those probably more than they should.
There is that. And it's not to say that, I would say that, yes, able-bodied people shouldn't necessarily use that unless they're in certain situations. Because sometimes, people have a stoma and they can walk just fine, but they need the extra room for all their equipment. Or somebody is transgender or non-binary, and in order to give them the space and the safety, a lot of times they need the bigger stalls. So, if
you need it, sure.
Use it, definitely. We don't want to gatekeep, but at the same time, if you have absolutely nothing going on, you're not a part of either of those groups that I mentioned, then yeah, you can use the smaller stall or work with us and make it so that all the stalls are 100% accessible.
I mean, I don't know about the female female bathrooms, but the men's bathrooms, there's like usually, I don't know, 1-2 stalls maybe in those, and they're if it's not the accessible one, which isn't usually that big, the other ones are super small. So it's not even. I'm not a smaller guy, but just even trying to fit in some of the normal ones is like you can't even like turn in them. I don't know what measurements they're using. But.
I'm a skinny guy and I have trouble sometimes.
Right.
It is kind of interesting how they come up with some of the. It's like trying to use one of those porta potties. Nobody can use those damn things. I don't see how you could possibly turn around. I can't turn around in them.
They're not that bad. They're just disgusting. They're big enough, though.
No,
they're
they're
just
not.
disgusting. I'd rather never go in one of those things.
Not only are they disgusting, but you cannot turn around in them. And they never have any for disabled people.
No, they don't, for sure.
Yep.
So speaking of out in public, you're a 2-time TEDx speaker.
Yes.
That's really cool.
That is cool.
I heard that's not easy to be like approved for and to get to. You want to talk about that process and?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, for me, it's actually. I mean, I should probably knock on wood, but I've applied twice and been accepted twice, so I've heard I'm not the norm. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. But the first one was in my Austin, Minnesota, where I lived. So there was the first one they ever did, and I applied for that one about 12 years ago now, I think it was, and got into that one, which was really cool because I shared a lot of stories about my daughter and our life in the town where the things were happening. So it was about stuff I hadn't shared like publicly before, so it was very moving for me, and everybody did a standing ovation at the end, so it was
awesome.
Quite emotional, but that one was a lot of fun. Then that one has around 19,000 views, probably close to that, so that was a lot of fun. And then 10 years after that one, so 2 years ago, I did another one where I got my master's degree, and that was fun to go there and do that one too. That one was a little more intense, a lot more people from that one were a lot of from out of state where they applied like all over the country and then they got accepted. So they were from all different states. So it was a little different feel, but it was good to do it again. So yeah, it was fun. But the first one was really fun. Like I said, it was in the hometown. It was small, right close to where the stuff was happening. So it was a good time.
Did you have to go through a lot of like speeches and stuff to get there, auditions, so to speak, or was it more of an application and they approved you? I've heard different things from different people how it works.
I think the ones that I have done was just kind of like just an application, short
Okay.
application. I think like a couple sentences on what you want to talk about,
Yeah.
like what your ideas are and stuff. Wasn't too in depth for the ones I did.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard it's a in-depth process for some people. Yeah, I didn't know how that worked.
But yeah, for me, it was, I think part of it was like I said, the first one was in my hometown. I knew some of the people kind of on the committee. And then the second one is where I got my master's. So I felt like, maybe because I had those connections, it helped me. I'm not sure that's accurate, but that can't hurt, I don't think.
No, can't hurt.
I haven't gone there. It makes a big difference, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Or it's because I'm bald, I don't know. Maybe like bald people.
Bald quota.
And you have a good beard.
Yes, you do. How did you prepare for them? Like, how do you get yourself psyched up to stand up there and be able to share your story? Because it is hard to share stories, and especially important ones that have to do with our family or friends, or even our own, selves.
So the first one, since it was in the town I was living in, they probably the month prior to, you could come down and like work through your speech, and they had some people there. What's that thing called? It's some kind of club where you do like public speaking. Toastmasters, is that what it is? Or some kind of a local club where you kind of go and do speeches. So they had a lot of people there who you would talk, and they'd give you tips like, hey, there you need to like fix your cadence or pause more. So that was a lot of fun because it was a lot of really good coaching that helped kind of tweak it. So that was a good time. But I remember I had it written down, and then I have some pictures like on Facebook that pop up where it's like I'm in the bathroom staring at the mirror the night before, like reading over my notes and stuff. So or just kind of going over and over and over again. And that one I think I had like a paper copy kind of in front of me. The second one, I wrote that one, and then it was about 4 hours away, so I was kind of going over it in my head bunch of times. They had a teleprompter. That one was more, like I said, I'm not a super confident like public speaker, so it makes me nervous. And the second one, where it was like a bigger venue and like people in my mind were more like more important. I know it's horrible to say out loud, but I sell myself short sometimes, so I kind of got in my head, and it was a little harder. But yeah.
Yeah, I have a horrible time with public speaking. I worry about what other people think, and I'm just like you. I feel like they're all better than me, so I don't belong up here. I guess the imposter syndrome is what that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
We all get it too, which is, especially now, we got to just think if the people who are currently in high positions can do it with mediocre skills, then we can't possibly have imposter syndrome, because we actually do know what we're talking about. We actually do know how to, do things. And we're coming from expertise of not only living that, but also having to delve into it because of ourselves being a part of those groups, or knowing somebody a part of those groups. And like you said earlier, just you don't understand the depths of questions and answers that you have to search for in order to get your loved one the help that they need. I remember family members, having difficulties getting things that they needed because it was so difficult and not out there. And it was just like, oh, by the way, here's your diagnosis. Good luck. And, you're supposed to figure this all out on your own, which is stupid, but it doesn't help anything. And, just being able to go through that and survive that, you're an expert at that point.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that is true. It's just like, I don't know something about my upbringing or something where it's just I'll be 49 in a month, and it's just I still like worry about what people think of me, and it's like conceptually, like I agree with what you're saying. It's just sometimes there's some times where it's just I still don't believe it. So I'm working on it.
I strongly believe the time we grew up. I'm about 4 years younger than you.
Okay.
it was made obvious that you needed to care what other people think, and they made it known what they thought of you. It was different back then. Whether it was better or worse, I don't know. I guess it depends. I'm not a kid, so I can't say what it's like out there. But it was different, and people always judged you, like badly, all the time. Or maybe it was just my experience. I don't know. But I was always bullied, so that's kind of what it felt like back then.
What I have noticed is that everybody thinks everybody's judging you, when in actuality, everybody's thinking
About themselves.
like, oh God, somebody's going to be judging me themselves. And everybody's doing that. So actually, none of us are really judging each other because we're so busy worried that somebody else is judging us.
Yep.
But it takes 30 years to learn that.
Yeah, it does take, unfortunately, it does take time to realize that nobody really is thinking about you or worried about you. They're just worried about themselves and making sure that they have what they need. And honestly, like, yeah, we grew up in a time where intellect was valued and stupidity was considered stupidity and not this wonderful thing to have. It was not good to consider yourself stupid.
But bullying wasn't an issue, and like to the authority, bullying wasn't an issue like it has become. Thankfully, it has become. Bullying was far more acceptable.
It was, and unfortunately, which doesn't make sense to me, but a lot of things don't make sense to me. But because of that, though, I think it was just like a lot of those bullies just were so bullied themselves that they didn't know how else to react to things. Whether or not it was physical abuse or mental abuse or verbal abuse, through their own family members, don't know. But it doesn't give them the right to bully you. However, nowadays we are supposed to be, loving the stupid and, exalting the stupid, which I don't understand that either. But because of that, I think it's kind of made a lot of people realize, well, if the majority of people are that stupid, then it doesn't matter what I do. They're going to think I'm brilliant. So, I mean, we have the benefits of, that experience and understanding it. And yeah, you want to be seen as smart and knowledgeable. But the thing is that we are.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's get into the podcast. I love podcasting. And I'm sure you do too. So I guess for the listeners, when did you start your podcast, The Inclusive Dad?
Let's see. So this year, it was August 1st of 2024 is when I think I released my first episode. So I had been on
a couple of years.
That summer, about 2 or 3 times, I was on other people's podcasts. And then at the end, they're like, when are you going to start your podcast? So after the first one, I was like, okay, that's cool. Then the second one was like, okay. And then the third one was like, okay, there's something here because people keep asking me. So I just threw something out on Threads and like, hey, thinking about starting a podcast about disability, or if you have a disability or a parent or in that realm about inclusion, you'd be interested. And I had like 75, 100 people within 24 hours. Like, yeah. So I just like, okay, there's something there. So I just started then just reaching out to people, and I think I just released like episode 187 or 188 or something.
Nice.
So thank you. But yeah, there's been lots of people. I just love like yourselves, you guys are on. Appreciate it. Just sharing your story and different perspectives. I just love meeting people and talking about inclusion or disability or different things, and just getting people's take on it or like that. So it's been a lot of fun. Met a lot of cool people, and I've interviewed people from, I don't have a list of the countries, but different countries, different time zones. It's been kind of fun to get talk to somebody from Europe and what's their how is disability, is it different, trying to figure out if it's like different there than here, and because I've never been to Europe, so it's fun to get the different perspectives. So
it is definitely nice to kind of get different perspectives and maybe ideas of what we could push for here versus there, or both sides need to do this because sorry, go ahead.
In my experience, I've learned a lot from doing this, just from talking to the people, especially being someone who came from no disability really around me at all. So I've learned a whole lot, and I've changed a lot because of it in a good way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, honestly, I would say it has changed me in a good way too. I grew up around disabled people, and it wasn't like, oh my God, totally for me because of experience. But at the same time, outside of, school, I did experience it outside of school, but inside school, there really wasn't that many people that were around that were disabled. And growing up, we had Facts of Life where they had one person that was disabled. And I think there was like one other TV show that had somebody disabled on it like a couple of times. I can't think of it offhand.
It's like the Wonder Years or something?
Something like that.
And there's one where the main character had Down syndrome, right?
Oh yeah, that was Life Goes On. That's it.
Life Goes On, yeah.
Yeah.
No, life goes on. Oh, buddy. Oh, there we go.
And
all right, I just like songs pop into my head. Once
mine too. And those were great shows to show, disability and all that stuff. However, it was still kind of treated as an abstract, like it's not normal, not that you would never really cross these type of people. And in fact, you actually do. You actually do have more in common and will see more and actually interact more with people that have disabilities than that do not, especially because a lot of them are invisible. You can't see if somebody has certain diseases or illnesses because it's all inside. And having that kind of helped me understand that there might be nuances, but not enough until I started talking to people and getting the fact that, yeah, those invisible diseases and sicknesses are just as debilitating as those that need wheelchairs or that need canes and crutches and such like that are obviously, for lack of a better term, disabled, as opposed to those that look like they should be, quote unquote, perfectly fine. And I think it's a disservice to all of us that we don't get to interact with those people more often. All of them.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as the podcast is concerned, getting to meet these people and learning everything and building that community, that's been huge for us and almost healing for Dory for sure.
Definitely healing.
Do you feel that you've kind of had that same experience where just really life-changing, just meeting these people in this community?
Yeah, for sure. I feel for 100% the same way. And I just, all these people that, it's been a lot of fun. And just like, the different perspectives, how different people view the world. I mean, I'm white, heterosexual male. I have a certain, all that stuff. So, I mean, just meeting people who have different, ethnicities or different, labels or whatever you want to call them has been fun to get perspectives on, how many people are, or the ones where you have your non-white, the disability, where you check a lot of boxes in different categories. Has been interesting to hear, those different, how that changes things and different stuff too. So it's just been a lot of fun. And I mean, most people, when I interview them, just really thankful for being able to share their stories, and are very appreciative, and just, makes me feel good to hear, people say you're doing a good job when you get these stories out. Thanks for your time and that stuff. So I feel like that's what I'm at this point in my life here to do. And I love just, sharing people's stories. And just even for me, because my daughter uses Medicaid funds to be able to live in her home for the community option, and just all this stuff happening. It's like, we need to talk about this stuff and let others know that, I mean, she's living at home literally because Medicaid is paying for her to live at home instead of in a nursing home. So it's,
right.
When they talk about stuff in Minnesota getting frozen or taken away for Medicaid, it hasn't happened yet, knock on wood, but I mean, at some point, the money gets too narrow, it's going to start having some bigger consequences than we've seen so far. So it's important to talk about, like, if they keep cutting this stuff, your sister, cousin, granddaughter, person in your community might not be able to live at home like you and I do. So stuff has consequences.
Definitely. And it's scary that they want to take that away because it's actually cheaper for people to stay at home
way cheaper.
than having to build a hospital, upkeep the hospital, and house them in those not always great rooms and things like that. So it doesn't make sense. Why would you want to spend more to have less when you could spend less and have more? I don't understand that. And we need to fight back against that because they are vulnerable. we are all vulnerable. At some point, we will all be disabled if we live long enough.
Yeah.
We shouldn't look at them and see them as expendable. Just like during the pandemic, we shouldn't have looked at our parents and grandparents as like, you can go. We'll be fine if you go. Because...
Take one for the team.
Yeah, I mean, there's taking one for the team when it's like you against a girl that wants you. Okay, take one for the team then. But when it's a situation of these people need this money to survive and live, how the fuck do you come off saying that they don't deserve it and then get upset because it will come back to you, and when it's no longer there for you, you're going to be upset. But why wasn't it here? Because you didn't care about it when it wasn't you.
And just being in that, seeing the stuff too. There, I mean, there is fraud, I don't know if you can call it fraud, but why does a brand new electric wheelchair, the invoice value like $50,000? Like, there's no reason the thing should cost that much. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can just being in that world, or some of the adaptive equipment my daughter gets that they pay for. It's like, why does it like? You can buy that bike almost like at Walmart, like for $300. Why does it cost $3,000? Because it's for adaptive equipment. So I mean, there is some money. There does seem to be some space in there where there's money is flying around a little bit, but it's like, that's not. Why does it cost that much? Why are we questioning why this bike costs $5,000 when you can make it for way less than that? And I mean, so there are some conversations we need to have. It's just it's gone way too far the other way at this point.
Yeah, don't punish the people that need it. Punish the people that are making it that way. Fight them. Fight those that are creating a bike that normally would cost $250, but because it's supposedly disabled people using it, now it's $8,000.
And the insurance.
Yeah.
Fight the insurance. I think they're jacking up the price too.
And we should be fighting them.
Sorry. And the invoice price, I mean, that's what I know enough to know that that's what they charge, because insurance does not pay that full price. So they just keep raising the invoice price so that the price they get paid is enough to keep doing it. But
exactly,
it's still ridiculous.
I understand that they need profits in order to keep reinvesting in, labor and delivery and research and development. I get that. But to nickel and dime and gouge the hell out of disabled people is repulsive and disgusting.
It is.
And those are the people we need to be fighting against. Because what do you mean that you need $10,000 for a wheelchair when you could have made it with the exact same materials for probably $150? It doesn't make sense. Why is insulin $500 per shot when it was actually sold for $1?
And inhalers in your situation.
Yeah, like I have to use inhalers. My inhalers are either $80 to $150, depending upon which one I need.
And insurance never wants to cover it.
Yeah, so it's like, but I'm paying you to cover this shit. You should be fighting the makers, the manufacturers who are gouging us, not punishing those of us who need to be able to breathe and live. And, again, you're wasting so much money. Like, if we all die, guess what you're losing? Money. Because I can guarantee you the wealthy 1% ain't going to pay shit.
Yep.
And I feel like that's why we need these podcasts and stuff like that. We need as many people as possible talking about it. We need that conversation out there. We need the Inclusive Dad podcast, our podcast, all the other ones that we've both been on and we listen to, whatever the case. We need to talk about it more and more. And people who are listening won't have any idea because this will be months later, but the No Kings March yesterday, it's the same idea. The more people, the better. The more we get out there, the more we talk about it. You're going to get your point across better.
You just have to keep going. Don't assume that just because you marched one day, everything's good now. That's not how it works. You have to keep pushing and putting on pressure. You have to keep talking about this. And
it takes a lot of people.
Yeah, it takes all of us.
Doesn't take one.
Democracy isn't for one person. It's for everybody that steps foot in this country. And because of that, it takes all of us who step foot in this country, who have been born here, raised here, to come together and say, enough is enough. I don't care if they were born somewhere else. I don't care if their religion is different or they don't even have one. Who cares? As long as we all want to better ourselves and make the world a better place. It shouldn't matter what we look like or whether or not we can sit or stand. I mean, it just, the whole...
I mean, I live in Minnesota, and this, I mean, I don't know the specific details, but the land that our house is on was Native American land at one point. So it's like this, I'm living on land that wasn't even our land. Like, how do you how do you say you're in Minnesota? We need to get all these people out of here. It's like none of us were supposed to be here either. I mean, the number of us that came in and took land from them is, I mean, it's just crazy how we forget, we don't think about that part of it. And that, I mean, in Minnesota, where I live, about 90 minutes away is the biggest mass execution in the United States by the U.S. President. Abraham Lincoln signed the orders to publicly hang, like, I don't know, like 30 to 50 Native Americans around Christmas Day in Mankato, Minnesota. We went to the ceremony they had this year. That was quite moving. It's hard to describe it, but it's just stuff like that we don't talk about. And it's like, I mean, yeah.
How do you say somebody's illegal when you stole it anyway?
History is all too often forgotten. And people need to pay attention to history and learn from history, not just brush it away.
And pay attention to who's telling you the history. Is it accurate? And, you know, is there a way to figure that out? Because, a lot of times teachers want to tell you more. There's so much more that they, I'm sure, want to tell you. But they're restricted in what they are allowed to say. Because, you know, the textbooks restrict what is said. And you always have to look at history is told by the victor. It's never really told by the people who actually were the sufferers of that victory. And so you have to keep that in mind when you're looking at history. Who is it benefiting? Who benefited from this? You know, like the fact that we celebrate Columbus, which it doesn't make sense because, for one thing, he didn't step foot on American soil. He was in the freaking Bahamas type of thing. So there's that. And then he mutilated people. He purposely said that they were savages just so that they could steal the land. How do you follow that and be like, yay? It's those things that you're not told, though.
Right. You're told the bright side of history.
Yeah.
The side that's supposed to make you feel good about it. You're never told the bad shit.
But you're not supposed to feel good about history because it's history. You're supposed to take it, learn from it. Like, for instance, the Bolshevik Revolution or Bastille, all of those things. You know what caused those things to happen? Elites sucking up all the wealth from those people and making them starve and taking every last bit of everything from them. And what happens when people have nothing left to lose? That's an important lesson I would think that wealthy people would want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, in Dutch people killed and ate one of their people who was presiding over them and being barbaric and sucking them dry. I'm not saying, you know, let's go eat like that, but but there's that it was the same thing. And it's like, all of those things have happened over history. When are we going to learn that this doesn't work? It never does.
Yeah. And with the ICE stuff too, is like, I mean, I realize that, I mean, once, you know, they find they're using a specific type of person, or in Minnesota for sure, like Somalis and stuff, to get their base rattled up. And it's like, but okay, you do realize once they take care of them and their view or whatever, they're going to pick another group. And eventually they're going to run out of groups, and you're going to be, you know, it's just like nobody's safe. Like, it's once that, you know, they've used up that group, or they've gotten what they need out of them, they're going to pick another one, and it's just going to keep going. So it's like, nobody's safe. You're safe now, maybe, but eventually it might get to you still.
Right. I mean, just like at the beginning of our country, when Italians came over, when Irish came over, they were all considered monkeys and dirty, and, you know, similar things that are said about Somalis nowadays, or other black people or Hispanics, and it's just, which is stupid because none of us are. But they use the exact same tropes for every single group. So what makes you think that they won't turn back and eventually come back for the Italians, the Irish, et cetera, when the rest of us are gone?
Yeah. It's a fucked up world out there.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just listen to me and the rest of us women, y'all would not be in this shit. But no, you can't listen to a woman, God forbid.
So, on that note, well, not really, but for what you're comfortable talking about with your daughter going through school and going out just in general to the store now, do you notice any discrimination or bad looks? Do you get bad comments, or has it been pretty good?
I mean, the school stuff was more. I mean, the school stuff to me just was more about like how. So she was like I said, I didn't know anything about that world, so we just went along with what the school told us, and that was for her was getting sent to a segregated classroom across town, and her brother walked to the neighborhood school.
Mm-hmm.
And once we realized that they were folding towels in her classroom when she was like in kindergarten, first grade, it's like, why are she not in reading and math? Why are they not in reading and math class? Like, you've already decided they're not going to be able to do this stuff. And went down that path. Then all the roadblocks that were there. I mean, they built a new 5th, 6th grade school in town, and they put a special education door for all the special ed kids to go into. And we're talking, well, it was in the 2000s because my daughter was born in 2002. And I was like, so I had to argue with the principal to get her to go in the regular door. And I was like, if we go to Walmart, there's not a separate door. Like, I need to teach her how to use her power chair going through people in a regular setting. Why would I have her go through a different door?
Right.
Than her know how to go through a regular door, So we had to argue with that. And also, I was like, if that was an African-American door, you'd have Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson in town shutting you guys down. Like, why is it okay that, as kids in special ed, that it's okay to do this? So, I mean, we've had some stuff like that. And my daughter, I don't think she ever really, I don't know if she knew about that, but she got upset about stuff like that. It was more just me, like, seeing how the system had different rules or different things. Just because, kids are in special ed or had disabilities, that upset me more. Generally we get, in my first TED Talk, I talk about where people are like, oh, it's so nice you take your daughter to the fair, out to the mall or to a movie. I'm like, she's my daughter. Like, if I take my son too, like, you're not patting me on the back for taking him out of the house.
Right.
Like, so I had some weird comments like that. And you have the little kids who never seen the chairs, like, come up to her and want to climb on it, and the parents are kind of freaked out, and it's like, no, I would rather they come over and talk to her and check it out than you guys stand back because it's big and scary. So I feel like the kids kind of get it way more than the adults do, and us adults kind of make it worse sometimes.
Definitely.
Challenge it, so.
I
but
can't.
Overall, like, still, I would say people are generally more helpful. I honestly don't look at people's faces to see like how they're looking at us. If we go out to listen to music, I just go out, and if there's not room, I kind of budge my way through, and like, whatever. It's like, you guys can get out of the way. That's rude, but
let your daughter just roll them over.
That's true. Like, oops. Well, she generally, if she also has like, she's legally blind. She can still see, but she's legally blind. So if we go into large groups, she wants me to drive. So I can play the, oops, sorry, I bumped into you. I'm not good at driving. Or I don't have my license yet for this joke or something.
There is that.
But they don't, if you go to like restaurants, those tables are too close together. Sometimes if you sit in the chairs just without, it's hard to like scoot back and get out. So they don't leave a lot of room in between stuff. So and people are generally, if they see you coming, they'll be like, hey, let me scoot over, help get out of the way. But so I'd say overall it's been usually pretty good, but
I can't believe the school with a different door for special education. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't believe it either, because the way I found out about it is they were going around to the schools and doing like a presentation, and I saw it on the building plans up on the screen. I was like, what? I'm like, what does that say? Are you serious right now?
Yeah,
what the fuck is that?
Nobody questioned this. Like, nobody's like, hey, wait a second, why is there another door?
Right. That regardless of what race you are, you should be able to all use the same door, regardless of what abilities you have. You should be able to use the same door. I can understand maybe like, the staff using a different door because they're going into a different part of a building than the students and parents type of thing. Yep. Fine. But that just doesn't make sense. And it's aggravating. It's maddening that they would do that. And it doesn't help. It really doesn't. And all it does is paint it that there's something wrong with those kids because they got to use a special door.
Yep.
And why the fuck would you want to do that to children?
Do you know if they ever fixed it? Changed it?
I don't think so. I think it's still there.
Unbelievable.
Well, and that one was, they had remodeled the science lab at the middle school prior to this, and they didn't put any accessible stations in it for wheelchairs, which, again, this is 20 or probably 15 years after ADA was passed, so I don't know how the heck they got by with it.
Yeah.
I was in the meetings with the architects in the new school, and I just straight up asked them, like, so is this place going to be, ADA compliant? Oh, yeah, blah, 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 the law passed, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, the reason I'm asking is because when they redid this or whatever. So get in the new school, my daughter's in there, and so it was like in what we had for like a woods class growing up. It was called something technology or I don't know, some fancy name.
Okay.
So they built this brand new $20 million school, got all these desks in there, and they're like taller ones. They had no accessible desks in this room. It was like, okay, I took time out of my schedule to come to meetings with the architects to make sure this place was accessible, and they said it would be because the law was passed 20 years ago, and I had to have a meeting with the building and grounds director, the special ed director. I mean, there's like $1,000 of time spent on this meeting, and they took a brand new desk and took out a support beam underneath it so you could pull it up in a wheelchair. I was like,
wow,
this is asinine. Like,
Yeah.
how do you not have one at least in this room where they can pull up in a wheelchair?
Holy crap.
Or if a parent's in a wheelchair, they're coming in for a conference, and there's no place for the parent to sit up to the table either.
Right.
Come on, guys. It's like, how do you not?
Yeah.
How do you miss that?
That doesn't make sense at all.
And I was even in the meeting with them. So then my brain's like, okay, what is happening where I'm not in the meeting bringing up stuff? Like, what are they doing that I don't even know about it?
Yeah, then that's sad and scary, and it's
crazy.
maddening. It's crazy. It is crazy because, I mean, you spent the time to make it so that everybody could enjoy learning, and yet they still had the nerve to sit there and say, no, we don't want everybody to learn.
But good on you for fighting back and for trying to stand up for it. And I know a lot of people would just be like, well, that's what they did. We'll figure it out and just move on. So,
I mean, yes, thank you
that's
for that.
good.
But at the same time, you shouldn't have had to do
Yeah,
that.
you shouldn't have to, of course.
Well, it's just the other thing. Another one we had was where they had at the middle school, they didn't have enough handicap spots. It's literally a formula. It's in the state statute. Like, if you have this many stalls, you need this many handicap things. So I'm like, I just pulled up the statute and showed it to them. They paid like $20,000 to have some outside consulting firm come in and tell them the exact same thing. I'm like, I literally showed it to you on the state statute what it was. Why did you pay somebody $20,000 to come in and tell you the same thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally a formula. You have this many to this many, you need one. If you have this many to this many, you need two. It's easy.
Yeah.
But
Unbelievable.
yeah.
The things we have to argue about is ridiculous because I would think that would just, again, be natural, especially since the law passed. Why are we getting away with not even performing the bare minimum? What was the point of the damn law then if we still have to fight just to be seen? And
apparently,
like you said, the bare minimum. That wasn't even the bare minimum. The reason I think I brought it up to begin with is because when there's concerts there's maybe 2 handicap spots. And at the time, our county had the highest Medicare population in the state. So who comes to all these concerts?
right.
All the grandparents and everybody. I'm like, so they run out. So then we have a handicap accessible vehicle, and there's no place to park. So I parked in a fire lane up on a sidewalk that was 50 feet wide. Like, I just pulled up. I'm like, I got to park somewhere. I not parking 2-3 blocks away and have my, so I park out there, get called out from the stage. Whoever parked out there, you need to move because you're in the fire lane. I walked out there and I'm like, where do you want me to park? We'll just pull over there. I'm like, that literally says it's a fire lane also. So they had me move to a different fire lane. I'm like, so I had to talk with them. I'm like, you guys, you can put in more spots. Why don't you have 5 more, you bring out during these events so then more people can park? Well, yeah, but if we put 5 more out and nobody uses them, then there's those spots other people can't use them. I'm like, come on, guys.
wow.
Are you understanding what you're saying? Like, come on. Just,
Wow.
if somebody's complaining about having to walk another
Unbelievable.
5 feet because they can,
Yeah,
oh my goodness. Yeah, so some frustrating stuff.
it is.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. It's, I always thought growing up that America could never surprise me. And yet,
You fool.
yes, what a foolish thing I thought. And I every day am surprised at the depths of stupidity and cruelty that America loves to do. And I just don't understand it. If it's all about capitalism, you're losing so much money by excluding us. I mean, it's trillions of dollars that you're just leaving out there in the parking lot to blow away. You could mix it so that not all of the parking spots for handicapped people, for disabled people, are in the front, because some of them have made mention many a times they don't mind having to roll further as long as they have the room to get out of their damn car. So you could disperse them throughout the parking lot so that everybody gets a shot at where they need to be so that they can enjoy their life. And it's just like, how do you not think these things?
Yeah.
How are you this incredibly obtuse? I don't understand that.
And on the other side, there's so many people out there that park in the spots that are not handicapped or disabled and don't have the handicap placard or license plate, and they just park there because it's close to the building, especially if you go to like stores, convenience stores, stuff like that.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, I'm just going to run in. It'll be real quick. And then people that have accessible vans like you are screwed.
Yeah, I mean, and it pisses me off because, like, a lot of times the cops are like, what are you going to do? How about beat the shit out of them? Would that be better? Would you then do something? And I mean, it's like, what the hell? We're
That
not.
was always like the Blockbuster of the video rental stores. Like, somebody's like trying to get the movie back before they need to, and they'd always pull into the handicap spot and like, oh, I'm just running out of my car. I'm like, I don't really care. You're just like still parked where you're not supposed to be.
Right.
Somebody else can't park there now.
Exactly.
Park the spot over 5 feet further. It's not. It'll take you 2 more steps to get. It's not going to make it late by stepping.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like if you park in the disabled parking bays, all of a sudden time stops and now you'll be on time. But if you park in the regular spots, it speeds up. It's the same fucking time no matter where you go.
And hospitals, they always have a lot, and they are always completely full. No matter what, they need a whole lot more than the minimum. And it feels like they just put in the minimum. There's always a lot because they have huge parking lots, but it never works out. So it's awful. And you can never roll across that parking lot because you're going up a hill or something. It's just, it's ridiculous.
Who the hell said we should make all parking lots mountains? I mean, come on. I understand drainage issues, but what the fuck? I am not trying to go to the hospital on top of Mount Everest. I'm just going to your hospital. Why the hell can't you make this accessible? Why is it always some sort of freaking fight? I don't understand why we as people just can't accept the fact that people come in different shades, different colors. Some can see, some can't, some can walk, some can't. We're all still human, and we all deserve respect. And it just, I don't understand how you could look at people and say you're not worthy of my money. I don't want your money. I mean, what the fuck is, it's capitalism. We're the most capitalistic society on this earth. And you're telling me, no, you don't want my money? What the fuck? I mean, these people are just so maddening. I'm sorry.
I feel like part of the like accessibility stuff though is that you need to have people that are in wheelchairs or have that life experience to help make the decisions. Because I mean, I was on a committee like for a building committee for actually the theater where my daughter had to carry up on stage. I talk about my TED Talk because I didn't have any way to get her up there in her chair. And then they had an accessibility committee, and like there was nobody like in a wheelchair on either committee. It's like, I mean, I could talk somewhat to it because of my experience with my daughter, but like you need to have people when you're making decisions like that. You need to have people that have that lived experience there at the table, because things that I don't even know because I'm not actually in a wheelchair myself. I mean, there's things like I said, I can talk about from my experience with my daughter, but like we need to have those people at the table so they can. Yeah, I mean, this parking lot you can park in it, but yeah, if I have to park there, coming across in the winter on ice or whatever, like
Right.
it's not going to work.
Right.
And I don't know how good power chairs are, but her wheelchair can't go over like a bumpy surface very well, or
I'm pretty sure power chairs are designed for like California or Arizona where it's dry and flat because like they have the tire. There's just a small surface area that hits it in the rubber. Like if it gets cold, it gets hard. It's not like the tire, like your car tires where it's softer and can grab. It just gets hard and just. And there's so much speed, it just doesn't grab at all.
Which also begs the question, then why the fuck are we paying that much for it?
Right.
If it can only be used in the Sahara.
Not even there because that's too sandy.
True, but still.
Yeah, it'll stink. That's true.
I mean,
flat surfaces, no debris on them.
yes.
Perfectly.
Oh, there's a
tiled
leaf.
floor.
Now I'm going to fall because there's a leaf. But I mean, it doesn't. Can we like line these people up and just slap them all?
They all need to come listen to us. All of us.
It is so frustrating.
Now I want to talk to Permobile and see like where they test them. Like, where do you guys test these to see if they actually work?
Do they even test them?
Probably on some smooth concrete floor inside the warehouse.
Or a gym floor.
Mm-hmm.
It works here, so we're fine. I mean,
Unfortunately, we are running out of time. But before we go, I wanted to let you give everyone a chance to. I wanted to let you have a chance to tell everyone. That's it. Where they can find you, your podcast, and whatever you want to give.
I think all my stuff on socials is just The Inclusive Dad. It's The Inclusive Dad podcast on all the major platforms. Or Aaron Devries, I think. Either one of those you should be able to find me. So.
and it's Aaron, just so you know how to spell.
Yep. That's right.
And I'll put it in the show notes, so the last name spelling as well.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us
thank you so
today.
much.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank you so much.
for being a friend.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And love to talk to you again soon.
And keep up the advocacy that you're doing. It's needed more than
Yes.
ever.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Especially
for
now.
doing what you do.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Yep. See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Othering Podcast by Mike and Dory. Please like and follow us on all of your favorite social media.
The Othering Podcast is produced by LoudCore Productions, graphics by Josh, and music by Jordy James.